So the topic for the video today is going to be things people didn't realize the police were called on and advice you didn't realize the police had to give. So the other day, I was working a 2-officer car. My partner and I were dispatched to a call about a 16-year-old girl refusing to go to school. Those types of calls are really frustrating because it's really not a police problem. It's not a criminal matter. Really, you're being called to a scene often because a parent is refusing to be a parent, or a parent sucked at being a parent for the majority of their lives. They realize that now it's an issue and they're asking you to come solve their problem. As we pulled up to the house, I remember telling my buddy, I was like, oh crap, I think I was here just about a month ago. I ended up getting into a shouting match with this girl's dad, so this is probably not going to go well. Well, sure enough, we pull up to the house, knock on the door. Female answers the door, which is this girl's mom. She tells us to come on into the house, and once we get inside, we find Dad, who is sitting in his recliner, drinking a cold steel beer, which I think is like a 32-ounce can of beer. It's like 10:30 in the morning at this point. And I look at him, and this is what I say a lot of times. I'm like, hey guys, what's going on? And he's like, wow, my daughter, she's not going to school. She's not following my rules. I want her out of my house. And I looked right at him and I said, why is that my problem? He was not a fan of my response to that. My partner, having already been told that I had a less than cordial conversation with this guy last time I saw him, he decided to go ahead and take the lead on this one. That's about the same time that this 16-year-old girl walks up from the basement, because she lives in the basement of this house, and she starts arguing with her dad, saying, you know that's not the truth, you know that's not what's going on. So I tell her, hey, why don't you come outside and we'll talk outside on the porch while my partner talks to your dad. So we get out on the porch, and this girl, who is 16 years old and has a child of her own already, is telling me that the school she goes to, we're on the west side of town, is way out on the east side of town, which is probably a 45-minute bus ride to school. In order to get to the bus, she has to be at the bus stop at 6:30 in the morning. And the bus stop, she told me where it was. It's a pretty good hike from her house. It's several blocks away. So imagine a 16-year-old girl having to get on the bus at 6:30 in the morning, which I leave for work at 6:30 in the morning, and I have a difficult enough time. I can't imagine if I was 16 and had a child, how difficult that would be, because she's going to have to leave her house at probably 6 in the morning to make it to the bus stop. So she tells me that she can't make it to the bus stop on time. She tried multiple times and missed the bus. And I asked her, do your parents have a car? She said they do have a car. So I asked, well, why don't they drive you? And she said that sometimes they're willing to, but sometimes they're not willing to. I don't know if y'all are picking up on this, but mom and dad called police because their 16-year-old is not going to school, but they're refusing to give their 16-year-old a ride to school when they have to be there. They have to leave roughly at 6 in the morning. So I talked to her about transferring schools to someplace a little bit closer, and she said that that's something she would like to do. I went inside, and lo and behold, that's the same thing that my partner was already telling to this father. And it was amazing. We walked in the room, and this guy is acting like he had never even, that the thought had never dawned on him that he should transfer his daughter to a school that's closer to home so she doesn't have to leave at 6 in the morning. Because I think the school that she would be going to starts at like 7:45 a.m., which is, not a huge task to ask someone to be there at that time in the morning. I think that's very normal. It's just amazing that these people, it took them calling the police to figure out a solution to this problem. That is the crux of a much bigger issue with our society, and that is that we have an awful lot of people who won't lift a finger to get themselves out of the situation that they're in, and they blame everybody else for their problem. This is not a small number of people that are caught in this trap, and there's a lot of people enabling that attitude. So if you were to ask me what one of the biggest problems in our society is, that would be my answer. So I don't know if that's the video you're expecting today, but those are my thoughts. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.